viewers. Welcome to the Weekend Leaders Amazing Entrepreneur Show. We have with us V P Lobo, the son of a daily wage worker. Lobo has built a real estate business with an impressive cumulative turnover of 70 crore rupees. Lobo grew up in extreme poverty at a village in Karnataka and came to Mumbai with just 50 rupees in his pocket. Today, 50-year-old Lobo owns T3 Urban Developers, a company that builds budget homes with high quality amenities and has projects in Mumbai, Bangalore, and Chennai. You've grown up with many siblings and you are the son of a daily wage earner. Resources must have been few and there must have been plenty of mouths to feed. How was it growing up amidst shortage of resources?
Oh, well, we are actually eight children, five brothers and three sisters. Um, Eight kids in a small house in a remote village. One can imagine the, it must have been a Herculean task for my mother and father to divide the resources between eight children. My father was a daily wage worker as well as my mother. So it was really tough days. There were days when we have struggled for one square meal a day. We have gone, though our we have gone to sleep with half stomach. We have done that, and but in all those things, one thing that our parents taught us during that tough phase of our life is to stick to the truthfulness, sincerity, honesty. So those things we were really given very strong and solid foundation on which we could further build our life. Similarly, our schooling, we weren't lucky enough to study in best of the schools that today's generation children go to. We studied in government schools and maybe church schools, which were basically government funded schools. And we somehow we survived with one pair of cloth for the whole year. This is how we have done, and we used to other children used to make fun of us seeing our patched clothes. We used to have patch for our clothes because we used to have one pair of clothes for the whole year. Another pair of clothes would come only maybe during Christmas if that is donated by some wealthy man from the village. So that is how we have spent our childhood. Uh, this is some of the memories that we carry even till date. I'm 50 today. I still carry those fond memories.
Okay, once you finished your education, once you finished your class 12, you came to Mumbai with just 50 rupees in your pocket. What was the journey like? What were you thinking when you were coming? And once you reached Mumbai, how drastically different was it?
Well, I completed my up to 10th standard in Mangalore with the help of all well-to-do people and really generous people. And after 10th, I came to Mumbai. So 11th onwards, I did in Mumbai. And when I came to Mumbai, it was a different world altogether. Just imagine a small village boy coming to a huge city like Mumbai. It was like an ocean, and then I still remember the first day I traveled in a Mumbai local train. I did not know what's happening there. Who threw me inside the compartment and who threw me out of the compartment? I did not know. So it's a completely different world altogether. Then staying the problem. Mumbai is a big city where housing is a major problem, and me with just 50 rupees in pocket, I started staying with the North Indian, migrant workers, and that's how I learned Hindi. Also, I'm grateful to them. They taught me some good Hindi, and I learned to make chapatis also with the North Indian migrant workers. So today I still make chapatis at home, and during this lockdown, it has helped me a lot. So Mumbai life was not, it was though I came with a lot of dreams in my eyes. Mumbai is a city of dreams, but yes, for me it wasn't. It was struggle all over again. It was a different kind of struggle. A very heavy burden was laid on my young shoulders. So that is how Mumbai life began. It was a shock. It wasn't very easy. It was certainly a shock. But yes, slowly I was lucky enough to get good colleagues, good companions, even amongst the North Indian migrant workers. I was taken care of well by them in the small shanties that I lived in. So yeah, those were the memorable days of good old days.
So, Mr. Lobo, in your initial days in Mumbai, you've lived with taxi drivers, you've done odd jobs, you've washed laundry, you've washed taxis in the morning and evening. How was that journey? We would like to know a little bit more about that.
Yeah, it was a very humbling experience, I must say. I used to wash few taxis in the morning and few taxis in the evening, and per taxi I used to get about 2 rupees those days. And I have lived amongst those taxi drivers and learned quite a few things from them as well, including the language. I have also worked in laundry. I have ironed clothes and I have lifted huge bundles of clothes, taken them to Dhobi Ghat. I've done lot of this those kind of things. In the bargain, learning quite a few things about and the value for the hard work, the labor. Um, having spoken about the taxi drivers, I must mention one incident. I don't know, life can be really cruel to you sometimes, or life can be really strange. Many years later, once I was in the South Mumbai along with my wife, and I had not taken my car uh, because the South Mumbai is very far. So normally we take a local train and go to South Mumbai. So I was traveling with my wife, and as we came out of Churchgate railway station, we wanted to board a local taxi. And my wife said, "Let's not board this taxi. We'll board that old gentleman's taxi." So as we crossed toward the other side of the road to board that particular taxi, I stopped. As soon as I opened the door, I stopped. My wife asked me, why did you stop? So I said, let's get in. She thought taxi is very shabby and a very old taxi. Seats are all worn out and all this kind of stuff. So me in my tie and all, I'm a different man today. So she thought I might be having a second thought of getting into this kind of a taxi. So I said, no, let's get into the taxi. I'll tell you. And as I got into the taxi, I told the taxi driver to take me to a particular place, to the same, very close to that laundry where I have worked, to get into one of the best of the showrooms in that area where big timers shop. Um, so I told the taxi driver to take us to that place, and I asked him, "Do you know the place?" He said, "Yes, I know the place." So I asked him, "Since how many years you are in that area?" He said, "For the last 40 years I live in that area." So then I told my wife, "I have washed this taxi." So that is a very. My wife, I had tears in her eyes when I said that. Yes, it is. These are, Mumbai is full of these kind of incidents. Full of these kind of incidents. Not only with me. So many young children, young kids come to this city of dreams. Many don't make it. Many go astray. Many are not lucky. Many don't get into education. But I think I have been fortunate enough to. I'm thankful to Almighty God for taking care of me in this cruel city, yet city of opportunities. So this is that the taxi driver's incident that I thought I must mention. Secondly, the my experience in ironing the ironing clothes in the laundry. Again, I must tell you today, not a cloth from my house goes to a laundry today. It's everything is washed at home, ironed at home, including this suit, because I learned ironing those days. We do not have a servant at home. I can afford a servant. No servants at home. We do not have a servant at home because I know how to make chapatis myself. And I have taught everyone in the house. So this is the value of having tough life at the childhood. But one must not forget the past. The roots have to be stronger. If the tree has to grow big and strong, the roots have to go deeper. So this is the message that I would like to give to the youth of today's generation. We are a young India. We are a young India. The huge Indian population is in the mid less than 30 years old. 35% population of India is less than 30 years old. This is the message that I would like to tell them. Make your roots stronger. Be grounded. Focus on education. Don't ignore those small jobs that you do at the moment. They will help you to grow a big career in the future. I know the value of washing taxes. And today I wash my own car, though it is a BMW. I wash it myself. My daughter washes it. My son washes it. My wife washes it. We wash it ourselves. We haven't kept a servant for it. Though in my building everybody does it. But no, not for my car. I still do it myself. So that is the beauty of having a, very tough life and having a very fundamentally principled, ethically strong foundation, which I give credit to my parents.
So, Mr. Lobo, the humble man that you are, we also know that you don't just wash your BMW, you also walk to your office. You you are still down to earth. You still believe in doing your own things, which is a wonderful thing which all of us can take from you. Uh, these are unprecedented times. We are all living under lockdown due to the coronavirus pandemic. We the entire business industry is struggling. What would you say to the young entrepreneurs, to the ones who are just starting in and who probably facing the toughest time of their life? Because starting up in itself is very difficult. But then on top of it, if you have a pandemic with a with an economy which is going haywire, things become even more difficult. Of course, from you we can take it that one must struggle and learn and do whatever job you can. But what would be your 2 cents to the young entrepreneurs on how to survive this phase?
Well, during these tough times, my heart does goes out to those young entrepreneurs who have turned entrepreneur in the last couple of years. They are not seasoned and they are seeing these tough times. My message to them is simple: trust yourself, have patience, perseverance, and this particular time devote for planning, praying, and ultimately remember one thing. As I have done in my life, I have surrendered everything to whenever tough times come in my life. What I can't do, you can't do, only one person can do it. I have done that always. So this is my message to the young entrepreneurs. What you can't do, what anybody else cannot do, only God can do. Ultimately, there is someone who controls everything from there. Surrender it to Him and don't give up hope, come what may. This is my message to young entrepreneurs who are just this could be their baptism by fire. They have never seen anything like this before. Of course, even I had not seen anything like this before, though I've been working for the last 35 years.
Right.
This is first time. But this is baptism by fire for those young entrepreneurs.
So you started with odd jobs. You were washing taxis. You were doing any kind of job that you could do for survival. And then you even worked as a PN at a General Trading Corporation, which
That's
was
right.
a company where you actually grew up to the managerial post. And you worked at Muscat and Oman as well. Tell us about that journey. How was it going from from absolutely the lowest rung to reach the higher post?
I must mention one particular gentleman's name in this particular interview, Mr. Abhay Kaparia and Mr. Rasik Lal Kaparia, who passed away just a couple of months ago. Or the owners of General Trading Corporation, a very small business, a small businessman. I joined them as peon in the office, but they took care of me so well. They trained me so well. They gave me an opportunity to travel all over the country at a very young age of 18, 19, 20. And they gave me the best of the exposure that I would have got at that age, even as an undergraduate. I was not even a graduate. So that's what precisely I told you a little earlier, that I was blessed with good people in my life. And at the same time, I must say I was blessed with great parents who taught me, even though they are illiterate, they taught me the value of being honest, sincere, and truthful, and stick to basics that they had given to me. So, from being a peon to a salesman and to a manager, and then I switched over jobs to then I went to HCL, and from there to another steel industry, and then slowly I brought in my other younger siblings to Mumbai. So by that time, I had bought a small house of one room kitchen for just 60,000 rupees. I can proudly say at the age of 19 and a half, I had a small one room kitchen in a distant corner of Mumbai for about 60,000 rupees, where I could bring my small younger siblings to Mumbai and give them little education in Mumbai. That was my next phase of my life in Mumbai. And thereafter, yes, my career takes off. I finished my graduation. My younger siblings had come to Mumbai. I left them behind in Mumbai all alone, three younger siblings. Then I went abroad to earn some quick money so that I can get my two younger sisters married off. I got two younger sisters. So then 3.5 years I was abroad. Came back to Mumbai again, finished my post-graduation MBA, and then yes, from there on the life zoomed, and I mean even faster than I could imagine. I went on to become CEO of one of the largest construction company in India, Evershine Builders, and 10 years ago I founded my own company, T3 Urban Developers Limited, and I'm the chairman and managing director of the company.
Okay, coming back to your education, you just mentioned doing MBA. How old were you when you did MBA?
Well, there is this. It's a good question that you asked me. I want to mention a very funny incident that took place. I did this MBA part time, 3 years in the evening college. So on the first day of my class, when I entered the classroom, all the students who had got into the class before me stood up and said, "Good evening, sir." They thought I am the professor because I was the eldest in the classroom. And for a moment, I took them for a royal ride. I went and stood on the podium. As soon as I went and stood on the podium, the real professor walked in, and he thought he walked into a wrong classroom. And he said, "Excuse me." I said, "Sir, I'm sorry, you're the right professor. I'm a student still." So I went and sat on my seat. So this is a very beautiful incident, funny incident that took place in my life. And I did my MBA in 3 years. It's a part-time 3 years course. And that really changed my life. I want to tell all the youngsters who are watching this, or your audience, that only education can take you out of the poverty. Only education can take you towards prosperity. My MBA turned my life completely.
That is something inspirational, which I think all the viewers should really take back with them and understand the importance of education. So, which year did you found T3 Urban Developers? How did
2009.
it come to be? 2009. And how did you actually get the idea of starting it? Who inspired you? We want to know the entire story.
Yeah. The real inspiration is one gentleman by the name Mr. Lakshman Ludhani. He is the owner of Evershine Builders, of which I was the CEO. So he himself is a great inspiration can be great inspiration to many of the youth in this country. He's just a third standard dropout, but he went on to found one of the biggest construction company in Mumbai, Evershine Builders. He built only affordable housing throughout his life. More than 50 years of construction only for poor people he built. So I took a leaf out of his book, and I thought there are so many tier 3 cities, smaller cities in India. like Shimoga, Hubli, Mangalore, smaller cities from where I come from, villages where I come from. So I thought I want to, get into those places and build houses for those people. Building houses for 10 lakh, 12 lakh, 15 lakh, which is not available in big cities. So, and there are so many people who do not have houses in those places.
Due to the lockdown, due to coronavirus, uh, the entire industry is suffering. Not just real estate, the economy is haywire, the banking industry is uh, going haywire. So, I would like to ask, where do you see the real estate industry going from now, from here?
Madam, ever since the lockdown has started, almost every week I've got one or two Zoom meetings where everyone asks the same question: Where from here? Where does the real estate industry go to? In fact, I write a lot of blogs on real estate industry. I would urge your viewers to read my blogs on real estate industry. They are quite insightful. Coming back to your question, Madam, roti, kapda, or makan, food, clothing, and shelter. These are the three basic necessities of human life, without which we cannot survive. These three needs of ours, we cannot postpone indefinitely. We have to consume them or purchase them or obtain them today or tomorrow or day after. It cannot be indefinite postponement. So similarly, for coming to the real estate industry, India is a housing deficient country. 65 million people have no houses till even today. And if at all they have something on their roof, it is not called a house. So there is a tremendous need for housing. What is not there today is the affordability. Yes, this pandemic is certainly going to affect the industry. It has been affected. It has been down in the dumps for the last 4 years, 5 years. One after the other, demonetization, GST, RERA, and now comes the corona. Yes, these are not the easier times for our industry. But one thing is certain, housing is the basic necessity of human life. I'll give you an example. Taj Mahal is so many hundreds of years old. It's a real estate piece. So real estate uh, is a continuous process. It's going to be there as long as the earth is there. So this is my advice to all young realtors there as well as young builders. This is not the end of it. This is not the end of it. This is going to take us far ahead. Perhaps we may have to start from again. We may have to start from a zero, but we will, come up again. So real estate industry will boom once again, will come up again, and will continue to cater to the needs of this country. Secondly, real estate industry is the second largest employment generating industry, only after agriculture. Thirdly, real estate industry along with other ancillary industries is the second largest contributor to the GDP. So real estate industry has to survive. One of the caption of my blog is the revival of real estate industry is survival of economy. So that is the importance of real estate industry, madam. And perhaps that's the reason I am also in this industry.
All right, it was very enlightening to talk to you, speaking to you, knowing about your life story, which is full of ups and downs. And when we say down, you were really, really down. And when we say up, you're at the pinnacle of success. And this is what a success story is made of. A man who came from a very small village in Karnataka and who is now living in Mumbai, the city of dreams. He drives a BMW and he also washes his own car. He learned making rotis with the taxi drivers when he came to Mumbai. And even today, he makes rotis for his family, which is how we should all be living life, being rooted, being thankful for everything that we have, and with the hope that the bad shall pass. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity. I am privileged, and if at all, with my life story, if I can make some difference to someone at some remote corner of this country, I'll be. My life is worthwhile. And thank you, weekendleader.com. You all are doing a wonderful job covering so many inspiring stories across the country. I am myself is a very keen follower of your website and news items, and you all are doing a fantastic job. May God bless you all. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.